All right, so get this, you guys. We're going to be diving into a pretty major winning streak happening over in the Philippines. It's been a huge year for Chiu, the actress, and we've got two Filipino entertainment sources that break it all down.
Yeah, and what's fascinating is that these sources don't just focus on the awards, but really get into how this has been a career-defining year for her.
Right, and I mean, she's won awards before, but this time she's been crowned like I don't know, the ultimate winner.
The Premier Actress of the Year.
Yeah, exactly. Premier Actress of the Year. And that's not just for movies or just TV. Or
Exactly. It means she's the top across both film and television, which is a super rare thing to pull off. You have to be amazing on the big screen, keep people hooked week after week on a TV series. Chiu did both.
Wow. So I'm seeing that title in both of our sources.
Yeah.
But they each kind of zoom in on a different project that led to this big win. One talks about sa Likod ng Mga Luha, where she's playing a mother having to make these really tough choices for her family.
And that's the role that actually earned her the Actress of the Year award. Critics were raving about it. One even called it a raw and vulnerable portrayal of motherhood pushed to its limits. That's like audiences were grabbing tissues throughout the entire film.
Oh, wow. I'm just imagining how emotionally demanding a role like that must be.
All right. It's going to take a lot out of you.
The source doesn't say anything about specific challenges she faced, but just reading this, you can tell it's intense.
For sure. Now, on the TV side of things, the other source really gets into Pintig, Pag-ibig, the series she starred in. This one was a mega hit, one of the most popular shows of the year, and got her Best Actress in a Drama Series.
Nice. From what I'm reading, it seems like this show really resonated with viewers because it combined really emotional storytelling with inspiring themes. Do they get into what those themes are specifically?
They don't, unfortunately, but it definitely sounds like Chiu really tapped into something that audiences were craving. Now, while all this was happening, there was another actor having a similarly huge year in 2024. Also mentioned in both sources, Paulo Avelino.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing his name. He also won Actor of the Year for his role in Huling Yugto, right? What was that role exactly?
He played a lawyer who defends workers who are being exploited. Seems like it really struck a chord with audiences in the Philippines. One critic even said, Avelino gives the character this, quiet strength and moral complexity, making him totally captivating.
Wow, that sounds pretty heavy. And he didn't just do serious stuff either, right? I remember seeing something about him winning an award for a romantic film, too.
You're totally right. He also snagged Best Actor for Tadhana sa Gitna ng Ulan, which is a love story.
So two completely different genres, both award-winning. That's amazing. What else did the sources say about him?
Well, one thing that both sources emphasize about both Chiu and Paulo Avelino, beyond their obvious talent, is their dedication to constantly improving, always pushing themselves further.
Yeah, they're not just in it for the fame, they're truly passionate about their work. I'm really picking up on this theme of them both, working super hard to be the best.
Totally. But it's not just individual success for these two either. The sources also mentioned that they were huge GE as an on-screen couple this year. They got this Most Popular Love Team for Adults award.
No way. So not only are they individually killing it, but people love them together, too. What do they even work on together?
One thing mentioned is their participation in the Sinadia Festival. It doesn't give a ton of detail, but seems like that was one of the things that really solidified their popularity as a duo.
That's wild. I mean, imagine that both having amazing individual years.
Yeah.
And then their partnership blows up like that. What a year for them.
And it goes even beyond the Philippines. Did you know they both got nominations in a bunch of international film festivals this year?
No way, seriously. International recognition on top of everything else. Do they say which festivals exactly?
They list a couple, but don't get into details. I think what's more important is that it shows Filipino filmmaking and the acting talent getting recognized on a global level.
That's really impressive.
Yeah.
What do you think stands out to you about them getting all this international attention?
I think it's really exciting because it kind of opens up this whole new world of cinema for people all over the world, like a chance to see stories and perspectives they might not be familiar with.
Yeah, totally. It's so easy to get stuck in seeing the same types of movies,
Yeah.
So this is like a chance to broaden your horizons.
Exactly. And something else the sources point out is how both Chiu and Paulo Avelino are known for wanting to use their platform to do something more, something bigger.
Oh, right. Yeah. I think it was in one of her acceptance speeches, Chiu specifically mentioned wanting to use her work to inspire people. Do they say if there are any specific causes they're known for supporting?
They don't really get into specifics about any, advocacy work, but both sources definitely highlight that they're serious about inspiring others, especially young people.
That's pretty cool. It's like they're not just talented, but they're trying to be role models too. Their whole story is kind of like proof that if you work hard, you can achieve anything.
And what's even more inspiring is that they both come from really humble beginnings. Their success is all hard work, nothing was handed to them. Makes it even more relatable, I think.
It's like a real rags to riches story, only it's rags to red carpets and international film festivals in this case. Do they talk at all about any struggles they faced on the way up?
Not a ton of detail, but one of the sources does mention that Kim Chiu got a lot of criticism early in her career. People didn't believe in her, thought she wasn't talented enough.
Oh, wow. So not only did she have to work to improve, but she had to deal with negativity from other people too. That
Yeah.
takes a lot of inner strength.
Totally. And it kind of reminds you that success is never just a straight line. There are always going to be bumps in the road.
It's interesting though, because even with those challenges, it seems like neither one of them let it stop them. Like they used it to motivate them to keep going.
Yeah, absolutely. And I
Yeah.
think that's a huge part of why they're so successful. It's not just talent, it's that drive and that belief in yourself.
I'm starting to see why these sources decided to focus on them. It's more than just the awards and fame. It's about the human story behind it all. The drive, the resilience, all of that.
Exactly. And what's really exciting is that their story's not over. They're still taking risks, trying new things, and using their influence to make a difference. So, for all of you listening, we've really dived deep into Kim Chiu and Paulo Avelino, these two actors who are really changing what success looks like in the Philippines.
And it's not just about, them as actors. It's about their impact, how they're inspiring people to go after their own passions.
And maybe their story will even inspire you to check out some Filipino films. There's so much out there waiting to be discovered.
It's like we've opened this door to a whole new world of entertainment and culture. And that's what's so cool about exploring, right? You never know what you'll find.
That's the truth. Now, here's something to think about. Kim Chiu and Paulo Avelino went from pretty much nothing to incredible success. So who else is out there, not just in the Philippines, but everywhere, just waiting to be discovered? What amazing talents and stories are we missing out on just because we haven't broadened our horizons a bit?
What's really impressive? It's how they've both managed to stay so grounded, even with all this success. The sources talk about how connected they both still are to their Filipino roots and how they give back to their community.
Yeah, it says a lot about them as people, They haven't forgotten where they came from, and they're really using their fame to make a difference.
It's so cool to see that. Do they mention any specific things they're involved with, any causes or organizations?
One source mentions Kim Chiu does some work with a foundation that helps kids who can't afford to go to school. They don't go into detail, but it sounds like she's really passionate about helping the next generation get a chance.
That's amazing. It's like
Yeah.
they're not just satisfied with their own success. They want to create a better future for others, too.
Right. Like we were saying before about them wanting to be role models. This is them actually doing it.
It really adds a whole other dimension to their stories. It's not just about awards. It's about making a real impact.
That's exactly what makes their stories so powerful, I think. They're not just talented, they're good people using their influence in a positive way.
Well, I think we've covered a ton in this deep dive. We've seen all the amazing things Kim Chiu and Paulo Avelino have accomplished on their own, their chemistry as a duo, their international recognition, and their dedication to inspiring others.
Yeah, we've really seen how hard work and perseverance pay off and how important it is to use your success to do good.
And maybe the biggest takeaway is that we've gotten this glimpse into Filipino cinema, a world full of incredible talent and stories just waiting to be discovered.
Totally. So as we wrap things up, here's a final thought for everyone. If Kim Chiu and Paulo Avelino can achieve so much coming from where they did, imagine how many other amazing people are out there just waiting to be found. How many talents and stories and perspectives are we missing just because we haven't looked beyond what we're used to?
It's a good reminder that there's always something new to discover, always something to learn, and always someone to be inspired by. Keep exploring, keep being curious, and you never know what amazing things you'll find.